Hello everyone, welcome to this review of the Incredible Hulk premium format by Sideshow Collectibles. Now this piece came out a few weeks ago. It's the second statue based on the same sculpt here. We already have a red one, and there's also going to be a grey one. Now I chose to go with the green one because of course it's the most iconic one in terms of the color of Hulk. But another selling point for me was this exclusive head that he came with. This is a Jack Kirby inspired head. It resembles pretty much the same portrait that we see on the original Hulk premium format, and for me this is just very iconic, and I definitely prefer this head. Now this is the regular head, which also looks pretty nice, but I wouldn't have gotten this statue, I think, if it didn't come with this Kirby head here, because this is the one I want, and I'm probably gonna have this on him all the time. Now this is a very big statue. It's a premium format, which means it's a quarter scale statue, and judging from his size, I think that's pretty much right. Also when I compare him to some of my other premium formats, he's really big, and he's also very heavy. So overall, I'm actually very happy with this piece. There are some issues that I'm going to go over in this video, some issues that people have been talking about in terms of the paints and the seam lines around the neck area, but I'm gonna show you this in this video, and I'm gonna leave it to you to be the final judge of it. To me, at least, overall, this piece is very impressive, and I'm actually quite satisfied with him. The only real problem that I'm having is where to display him, because he's so big, and I haven't yet made up my mind exactly where to display this piece. But it's nice to have him because I have most of the other Avengers now in my collection, and Hulk is just such an important character that it made sense for me to go out and get him. Anyways guys, I'm gonna set up the camera differently and zoom up a bit on the top half of this statue so you can better see the sculpt and the colors and everything, and we'll just go over some of my points now. So give me 2 seconds. Alright guys, here we go. Now let's start by talking about the portraits. As I said, I have the exclusive head on here, which is inspired by the artwork of Jack Kirby, and this is really the way that I see the Hulk. This is how I envision him, and this is, for me, the perfect head for this statue. So that's why I have it on now, and that's also the head I'm gonna be using when I'm displaying this piece generally, I think. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna change it out with the regular one, and it fits right in with a magnet, and it sits in safe and securely like this, and here you go. This is the regular one, and let's just go right ahead and talk about one of the issues that people have been commenting when it comes to this particular statue. Now firstly, the paint application. If you look closely, and I don't know how well my camera actually translates this, but the colors, the green colors or the green highlights of the face are actually a bit different compared to the green highlights of the body, and that makes the head stick out a bit. It's not really that easy to see, and I think you need a very particular lighting setup in order to really be bothered by this. At least I haven't really found this to be an issue that I'm really concerned with. Now, as we have the regular head on right now, I'm just gonna go right ahead and talk about another paint application issue, and that's related to the teeth here. Now I'm gonna show you a picture of this up close so you can really see how they applied the paint to the teeth. From this distance that I'm sitting now, it actually looks quite good. But if you look very closely, like if you were pixel peeping an image or something, you'd see that the paint application is actually quite sluggish. The lines between the teeth and everything, it seems a bit sloppy, and they could have done a better work here. One of the problems is that they used such a thick paint, I think, that it actually connects some of the teeth without actually defining each of them. So there are some painting overlaps here, and I'm sure you could actually fix most of this somehow, but I'm not gonna do anything about it because it doesn't really bother me that much, to be quite honest. Now I'm gonna switch the heads again now before we move on. The teeth on the exclusive heads are actually quite nice, and one thing that I love about this portrait, or actually both portraits, is the eyes. They're actually very well done. They look very convincing and authentic, and there are no problems with wobbly eyes or anything like that. It actually looks very convincing, and you do still have some very nice highlights and shadows and variations of the green color going on here. Also the hair is black with tints and highlights of green. So everything here, in my opinion, looks quite convincing and quite nice. So I'm actually very pleased with it, despite of these paint application issues. If we move on, another issue people have been talking about, I'm gonna turn him like this. I don't know how well you can see it now, but I'm gonna show you pictures anyways. The seam lines between the head and the body in the neck area is quite obvious, and this is also quite a big problem, I think. And it probably boils down to this statue being reused for 3 different versions featuring 3 different heads. So this needs to be interchangeable, but this leaves a quite significant seam line going on here, and I think that's that's just a big shame, I think, because it's a beautiful sculpted statue and everything, but having this thick seam line going on here is just kind of ruining the illusion of this statue, and I think Sideshow should definitely have done something to fix this and make it less as prominent. But still, when you look at this statue from those angles that I believe it should be viewed from, you won't notice these seam lines, and they are not that significant, and they don't really matter at all. So it's only when you get up close and look from the sides, each side, that you'll notice them that much. But anyways, this is a beautiful statue, I believe, and the sculpt and the pose and everything, the way that he translates the power of the character is just amazing, I think, and I'm very satisfied with that. I feel that he does this in a better way than the original premium formats, all the comic heads do. So I still feel that this is a very, very good representation of the Hulk. Alright guys, let's zoom out a bit and talk about the base and everything that's going on further below, so just give me 2 seconds. Alright guys, here we go. Now, as I said, this is a premium format. In the olden days, so to speak, that meant that there would be a mixed media statue here, and we actually also have that here, but today, premium format basically only means that it's a quarter scale statue. But as you can see, the pants here are fabric, and they've done them really nicely. I think they fit onto the sculpt perfectly, and this olive color along with the green Hulk is just the Hulk that we know. It's very iconic and it looks awesome, I think. His legs and his feet are also very impressive. His feet are huge. I mean, they are way bigger than the Hulk MacLeod from the Avengers movie. And I really like it when the proportions are off like this when it comes to the Hulk. Also, his hands, by the way, are huge. His fist here is the size of his head, and everything like that is just, it adds to the way that I see Hulk. I mean, he's supposed to be off when it comes to his proportions, and I like the way that they've done it here. I really feel that the sculpt and the pose of this statue is some of the strongest selling points. If you look at the base, it's nicely detailed. He's standing on this debris battleground area with a lot of broken metal and bent stuff going on. The paints and the details of the base are really nice. I couldn't have wished for anything better than this. And if you watched my unboxing video, I had 2 pieces that I didn't know where to put. One of them is this iron plate here, which I think just goes in here and it sits in quite solidly. And the other one was this pipe here that fits in with a peg, which is supposed to look like a bent pole or something that Hulk has been standing on, so it's totally bent now. But the paint applications are nice, and we also have the Hulk Buster glove here, which also adds a nice little storyline thingy to this statue. It's a nice narrative device somehow. We all know how Hulk fights Iron Man in his Hulk Buster suit, and it makes sense to add this to the base, I think. But overall, I find that the base is really nicely detailed, and it adds a lot to this statue, because I think, again, as I said, the strong selling point of this piece is the sculpt and the pose of him, and the base does a lot to make that happen, especially with his right foot being lower than his left one. It really means that he gets this very interesting and cool looking pose, I think. So it's really, really nice, I think. And the base is actually quite heavy. I don't know if it's solid, but it's actually very heavy. This entire piece is quite heavy, to be honest. Alright guys, let's zoom out and wrap up this review. I think I've been mentioning most of the points that I wanted to for this video so far, so let's just wrap it up. Alright guys, here we go. Now, is this piece worth it? That's difficult for me to answer really. For me personally, yes it is. This is the exclusive one. I probably wouldn't have gotten this statue if it didn't come with the exclusive head. This is the regular one again. I know some collectors prefer this one over the exclusive one, but personally I prefer the exclusive one, and if this statue didn't come with that, I probably wouldn't have gotten it in the first place. So I'm really happy that it did, and of course this is the green one with the iconic purple pants, so I feel that I have a very iconic and a good representation of the Hulk in my collection now with this beautiful statue. It's difficult to compare this with the old school Sideshow statue of the Hulk. With the exclusive head, they do look more alike than the other versions, but the old school statue, well, it's old school. If you're more interested in getting something that is rare and very sought after, I suppose that would be more ideal for you. But for me, it was basically a question of adding this iconic character to my collection, because I do have a lot of the Avengers already, almost all of them I think. So it made sense to get this one in my opinion. Also, if you had to compare this green one with the grey one and the red one, I think it's a question of, well, you might love the red one for whatever reason, or you might love the grey one for whatever reason. That's basically down to you and how you know the character and how you relate to the different versions of him. But the main differences between them are the portraits, of course, so that's also an aspect that you need to relate to. But in any case, I'm actually very happy with this statue. I find that he represents the Hulk very well. And to the people that have seen this statue in my collection, they all drop that jaw right on the floor, because this is a very impressive piece. It's huge, and it just it really expresses this feeling of power and just being very big. I mean, he's very big if you compare him to some of my other statues. So it's a very interesting statue. I think it does have some flaws and stuff, but you need to be able to look past those things in order to really enjoy him. And that's easy for me to do, because once you have him in front of you, it's hard to just ignore how awesome he is, in my opinion. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you do have any questions or comments, go ahead and post them. And do, of course, remember to like and subscribe and everything. And do check out my Facebook group, by the way, or my Facebook page, if you haven't already. I do post a lot of pictures and videos and fun stuff in there, so it would be nice to see you there also. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.